Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast, a podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It is my first.
If you're new to the force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today we are covering Season 3, Episode 5, Straight and True. And as always, we begin by popping a recap. Frustrated in his grassroots reform efforts, Colvin arms himself with intelligence from Daniel's detail and personally delivers a message to the next-level corner management. McNulty sees Stringer Bell's legitimate business dealings as a sign that he is now unreachable as a drug target. Bubbles shakes for the tree for Johnny one more time. Carcetti quietly seeks to fix the program for protecting state's witnesses after another one is killed. Omar struggles with dissension in the ranks. Stringer hard sells his new business model to an underwhelmed Marlo. Greg's surveillance gives McNulty reason to smile, and then he takes an interest in politics.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Yeah, Cuddy flexes his muscle and continues to slide back into the life, and Avon returns from prison. The episode was written by Ed Burns, and it was directed by Dan Attias. This is both their second times at their particular roles, and it premiered on October 17th, 2004. And I'm going to mention at the top before we get to the epigraph that once again, Halo was featured in the episode. And
is that what the boys were playing?
And as someone who worked, yes, it was. And that game released on November 9th, 2004. Oh. So I just think it's interesting. They got advanced copies clearly before they,
so
or either.
Special.
Yeah, so just some. Anyway, that way I don't have to mention it during the episode and just completely bring everybody down. So there you go. All right, Ellie, break us off the epigraph, please.
I had such fucking hopes for us, said by McNulty.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this one will play a little bit more of a role than I think the epigraphs have in recent episodes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, before we get into the episode itself, let us look at your predictions.
Let us.
So you got, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that
How'd I do?
you actually got quite a few here. Let's just go through it. So you mentioned something about the burner phones and that they would make progress on the burner phones, but the burner phones did not play any role, so that was a miss. Avon is getting out. Boom. Got that one.
Yay.
Colvin will be successful. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
He's
for sure.
Starting some success there.
Yeah, you definitely saw it rolling in. So, good stuff there.
Okay.
Bunk is looking for Omar and the gun. So, not the Omar connection and the gun, but that between the two, but Bunk, certainly one of the better scenes in the entire series is Bunk looking for the gun. Yes. So that was good. But you were right about it. You actually won't get there next episode.
Not there.
Good job there. Things will erupt with Marlo.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Now, you said, not sure if that will have more lead up.
Okay.
Will Stringer talk to Marlo? So you got that.
Yeah.
And then not coming to blows is kind of what I wrote down. So I think that the setup is there. So I'm going to actually give you 100% on that.
All right.
McNulty will figure something out about Stringer. What do you think? How do you want to grade this one?
No, I think that's a no.
You think so?
It's not what I was thinking. I mean, yeah.
You could have faked it and given yourself credit.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. But still, interesting that he did make progress in that area.
He did.
And has changed his
he
position.
talked to him.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, Carcetti will not announce it yet. So still on. Okay. In fact, it's pretty clear. Or it seems like Carcetti is still focused on trying to fix the city.
He is.
So, yeah.
He is.
Okay. So again, I give you credit on that one as well. So good job. Okay, no audio commentary this time, so nothing to bore you, but I will try to throw in a couple of Alan Sepinwall quotes as we go along. So, okay. Any questions that you had about this? It seemed pretty straightforward, but
pretty straightforward. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, let us begin.
All right, I have for us 7 storylines. There's a lot in this one, a lot going on. So we'll start with Bub's new hustle, then we'll get into Cuddy Ugly. Like Coyote Ugly, because there's an ugly side to him in this one for sure.
Is he still attractive to you?
No, he's not. He better have some reformation because I am not pleased with this situation. Bitch slap a girl. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyways, Omar gears up for round 2. We've got Stringer goes banker, Marlo goes banger. Nothing but junk for Bunk. We got middle management for Colvin and Carcetti's soapbox.
All right.
So let's start with Bubs because that is how the episode starts. Johnny's unhappy with Bubs' decision to be an informant, snitching, as he calls it. He says, basically, hey, we're getting by with our capers. Why do you need to do this? And Bubs tells him, wait until you ain't a pup no mo. I love that. He feels like he's getting too old for their usual shenanigans. Nothing to show for it. And even as he's talking about this, Johnny starts feeling ill, I would suppose, from withdrawals already. He needs his next fix. As they walk around the corner, they see a guy at the top of a ladder. And Johnny says, let's run a con here. Bubs reluctantly agrees, says that he should be the bad guy so that he's not confused. And he rattles the bottom of the ladder, telling the guy to throw down his wallet. He does it in a really kind of like almost a cartoon villain voice. Hey,
yeah.
Throw your wallet down here. Anyhow, Johnny comes up, pretends to scare him off. He acts like the good guy. The man on the ladder is very grateful and gives him some money as a thank you. And Johnny comes back to where he believes Bubs is waiting, but Bubs is no longer there. So, yeah. And he keeps trying. He's like, get with my girl Kima. And Johnny just won't have it. He's kind of sticking to his own code, whatever that is.
No, Bubs. I mean, there's got to be rules or else things get fucked up.
Ain't no rules for dope fiends.
When the police got you shackled up, you make a move, right? You help yourself out. But to just start snitching for no reason, that doesn't make no sense.
Whoa. Let me track this. You are populating that you can tattletale when you locked up, but you can't do it straight up for the money? I mean, no offense, son, but that's some weak-ass thinking. You equivocating like a motherfucker.
Okay, so a snitch is a snitch, right?
There you go.
So why be one, man? I mean, we're getting by with our capers.
Yeah, we getting by out here every damn day, ripping and running and ain't got shit to show for it.
It's part of being a soldier. I mean, that's true, right? That's what you say.
Yeah, that's why I put all these miles in these feet. You wait till you ain't a pup no more. See if you ain't looking for something a little more steady for your own self. What the fuck? You ill already? It's not even past morning.
I'm cool, man. I'm fine.
Look, we hook up with my girl Kima. We get paid. You're gonna be better.
No, fuck that, Bubs. All right, I'm not a fucking snitch.
Yo, you know what? I can argue the other side. Say that if you drop down and duck a charge, then you a snitch. You do it as a living. You're a professional.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about the two sides, right? I mean, they effectively represent doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Versus trying to change things. So, yeah. The only thing I'll just mention about this is, well, number one, it's curious to think about how a guy up on a ladder can be seen as a scam. I never would have thought about that. So that's one part of it, which is kind of interesting. And the other thing is, you know, as now that I'm 49 years old, and I just think, you know, the number of aches and pains I have. When I saw Bubs like running off this time, I'm oh my God, I totally identify with that. Like he just kind of he runs off gambling. And he's got like clearly he has like either he's Andre Royal is just acting in that role, but whatever it was, like I was like, yes, I totally feel that.
You
so
felt
that was funny. So
you know, if I'm the guy at the top of the ladder, I would have just climbed in the window when that started happening.
Sure, yeah, that's a good point.
That's just a practical side of me
that's a fair point. But you know, I guess when you're in the throes of fear or whatever, you think some guy's going to do something crazy. That's
true.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I guess it's interesting to think about Bubs' decision in that moment, right?
Why he gives in.
He turns the corner and he's got this look on his face and he's like, I'm done.
Yep.
So, you know, again, we've talked about this a million times, but Bubs lays out this argument about why this path that Johnny is on doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And yet it doesn't get through to Johnny, you know, and it's just clearly like he's just motivated by his addiction.
Yeah.
And you can't reason somebody out of a situation like that. So, you know, and even and there's that other layer, like that's part about being a soldier. It's like, it's so interesting that Johnny thinks of himself as a soldier.
What? I know, that was so weird.
Yeah.
Well, also him calling what they do capers was kind of weird to me too.
Right.
I was like, oh, capers. Okay.
Yeah. Caper sounds kind of fun.
It does. It does. Like, that's not what I would think of this as, but all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, Bubs is later reporting to Kima about Marlo. We find out that a guy named Partlow is his muscle. During this exchange, Kima gets a call from Cheryl, which she ignores. Anyhow, Bubs is working hard to make that money. He offers Kima a burner phone that's all wrapped up in paper. It's got fruit prints on it. And he also offers up the location of Marlo's Benz. You know, he is just trying to, he's wheeling and dealing. He's trying to negotiate some higher prices. And Shearsdeep plans to start his own business selling, I guess, those oversized white t-shirts that everyone is wearing on the corners. So he's got aspirations. And Kima seems happy to work with him on it. So that's it for Bubs.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on, or you want to talk about that a little bit more?
I mean, I think Bubs calling it hard. He said hard times in a hard land, which I like that line. Hard
times in a hard land.
And then make my nut coming and going. And I think we've talked about this a lot. You know, he's an industrious guy, and I do appreciate how he has always been that way. I also think there's something interesting about, well, I don't know. Is he really snitching, or is he just guiding Kima and giving her information?
He's just sharing observations.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know what the word on the street is, but So anyway, but otherwise, I guess that's the end of for Bubs there.
Okay, well, let's move on to Cuddy then. He's sleeping in after his previous night of partying and girls. His Mima comes in. She says, "Oh, looks like you're not working." Cuddy lies, tells her that he's now working nights at a bar. And Mima says, "Oh, by the way, your friend called," it's Grace, "and said for you to remember your appointment and that a job is in it if you're still looking." So, I mean, he's super hungover. He's like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Next up, we see him with Gerard and Sapper, aka Muggsy Bogues. And they're watching the guy that they believe is stealing money from them. So we saw this in the last episode, right? This guy that had the super nice jersey on. And as we recall from that last episode, Cuddy suggested that he was spending the money on a girl. And we see here that he has met up with some girl, I think after school, after she gets out of school. And they are pretty lovey-dovey. They're very cute. And Cuddy tells them to stay with the girl, but that he has to leave to keep a date that he has made, which is apparently the appointment that Grace set up for him. All right. Shall I continue?
Well, first, let's just mention that the fact that the first kind of comment about had such fucking high hopes for us.
Yeah.
Mima had high hopes for Cuddy, and she clearly saw through his bullshit, which
she did.
I don't ever want to be on the wrong side of a Mima, and just like
you don't.
I have to tell her the truth.
Yes,
like there's just no
absolutely. You better feel like shit for lying to your Mima.
Yeah, exactly. Even though she didn't. You would never you can't say, well, she's doing clearly she saw through it. So I just appreciate that.
She did.
And then I just liked Gerard's impression of Cuddy. I thought, man made a date. I really appreciate that. So, and then so I guess at the end it'll just be. I would like to have a discussion about what this whole point of this arc is about, getting this guy. But anyway.
All right. Well, Cuddy's appointment ends up actually being at a church with the deacon, I think. This was Colvin's confidant, the guy who used to actually be like a drug lord, right?
Well, to be clear, the actor used to be a drug
That's what I mean.
lord.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yep.
Cuddy tells the deacon that he expected Grace to be there. Deacon tells him, Grace is a beautiful woman. Man might say things he didn't really mean in that kind of a situation. He asks Cuddy what he would like them to do for him. And Cuddy says, hey, maybe just help me get some work. Although he doesn't seem very serious in how he's answering these questions. Deacon says we don't do things like that. He does ask him about his education level, and it doesn't seem like he even finished high school. So, nor does he have a lot of work experience. He said he spent a couple months working in a warehouse. So the deacon tells him we need to help you get your GED, and then you work your way there. Cuddy tells him that's not what he had intended, and he walks out.
Yep.
Yeah, this is an episode with a lot of walking out at the end. I'm just going to say, you're going to hear that a lot from me. There's a lot of walking out.
I don't think I realized that, but fair enough.
Yeah, so Grace set him up with the deacon. It's pretty good of her, but pretty shit of him to just let that opportunity go to waste.
Yep.
I'm telling you, this is me not liking Cuddy as much anymore.
Okay.
And it's getting worse because Cuddy catches up with Gerard and Sapper, and they are, I guess they're snorting heroin.
I think it's probably cocaine.
Okay, I just don't know my drugs. Okay,
I mean,
it's
there's
white
no
powder.
there's
They're
no
all
way
white
to
powders.
tell.
Okay.
There's no way to tell from
they are
that
snorting
alone.
something up their noses. They offer some to him, but he says no because he has to drop urine the next day. And they tell him not to worry about that because they have sources for clean urine. You know, he's not the only one who's on parole. So he ends up snorting some of it. Anyhow, the report on the guy who's the thief, that they believe is a thief, is that his girlfriend, who they followed, she ended up spending a bunch of money, and I think she got like his and hers necklaces for her and the boyfriend. So it looks like Cuddy was correct that the money was going to her to spend on what she wants.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, it's one of those things, again, I guess this isn't a life lesson, but I just like how when someone is patient and observant, it always seems to pay off with regularity.
Yeah.
So,
yep, it's true.
Yeah.
The next day, Gerard and Sapper take Cuddy to, I think they called it the pea pot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
And they pay a guy $5 for clean pee, which Gerard actually complains about because I guess previously they were only $2.
Yep.
I love the guy tells him, you try getting clean piss in Baltimore, and that he gets his from a daycare.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, yo, miss, where the pea pot at? Thanks. Come on, this way. Hey, yo, my man need to drop a negative.
$5.
Motherfucker, they was just two.
You try finding clean piss in Baltimore. $5 or go.
Yo, how I know it's clean?
I get mine from daycare.
So the next scene, Cuddy goes to drop his sample. He's at the place where he does that. The woman behind the desk is on the phone. It sounds like she's with her kids or something like that. She is not really paying attention to the situation. He gets her attention rather rudely, but I don't blame him. Puts his thumbprint on there and goes into a bathroom. He's about to pour the sample into the cup, but there is this moment where he takes a look at himself in the mirror real quick. Maybe he doesn't like what he sees, is what I am thinking there. So, shall we continue?
Well, sure. Let's pause here. So,
okay.
Ellie is. I was just going to say, last episode, I feel like I did a pretty good job of not interrupting you. And I threw them all in the end, but Ellie is now like completely. She's now worried that I'm going to interrupt. So. I guess I fully agree that when he gets into the bathroom, it clearly is if there were any joy,
right?
It is completely gone. It is now just a job for him, and he is not getting any kind of enjoyment, validation, whatever out of it anymore. And now it's just like, holy crap, this is what my life is.
Yeah.
I mean, and just to separate Chad Coleman from Cuddy. The way he acts it's like it's like 10 seconds.
Yes.
But you just get all of it in one shot. So good job, Chad Coleman.
It's amazing. He went on to do a lot of other stuff too. Yeah. He was in that one with Danny DeVito. Oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Was he?
Yeah, he is a little occasional actor in that one.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
a really funny character.
It doesn't surprise me. I think he was also in The Walking Dead or
yes, he was in The Walking Dead. Yeah.
So good for him. I'm glad, of course, about that. But and he's got one of those things. I don't remember which episode it was, but David Simon just talked about. He's got one of those faces where it's just so expressive, like even with just the smallest of movements. Yes. But just to back up, I did say there are some lines in The Wire that just hit you like a ton of bricks. And that line, I get mine from daycare.
Wow. I know. It just makes you want to stop and think about how they are getting that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
like,
exactly
what are they doing? Are they like putting bowls in the toilet to collect it or what? Like I started thinking about the logistics of that whole situation. Like, make it disappear now. I don't want to think about that.
Right.
Oh.
Well, it's not like it's not like the kids know what's happening.
No.
But it still feels there's something very untoward about that.
Yes.
Now, but I'll also mention, I got to say here that I feel like daycare, what's the word? The caretakers. They get paid not very well, given how much they have to deal with. I am kind of amazed. So it would not surprise me at all that someone's got a side hustle about getting clean urine to,
kids' urine.
Yeah. So, and if it's all a matter of just collecting it after the kids go pee, and it's completely transparent to the kids, then it's all good. So as long as they're not making them pee into actual cups.
I know.
So anyway, but it's so funny that you said that because I was I wanted to be like, Ellie, let's think about it.
Yeah, I know. I did. My brain went there, unfortunately.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one of those lines where, this time I remember hearing that the first time. You're like, it's hilarious, but also because there's so much so many layers wrapped into it that it's just and I'll just say it here that we talked about in season 2 when Ed Burns hit the episode. It felt very procedural and there wasn't a lot of it was just very much straight down the middle. Maybe there was some humor that's got thrown in. There were some scenes in this episode that are just hilarious.
Yes.
And this line is one of them where you're I have to believe that he actually knows somebody that had a line to the pee pot.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the three of them catch up with the girlfriend the next day, and Gerard and Sapper, she's very pretty, and she's got her shopping bags. Gerard and Sapper try to stop her and talk to her. She probably just thinks that they're trying to hit on her.
Yep.
She tells them to F off. She keeps walking by, and then Cuddy walks up and slaps her across the face.
Yep.
And everyone is kind of shocked. Even people just sitting on the side of the sidewalk there is kind of shocked. And he says, now we gonna talk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's serious. So I guess they talked to her and found out what they needed to find out, because that night, Gerard and Sapper are beating the shit out of the thief.
Yep.
And Cuddy he tries to get them to stop in his own way. He's like, he works for us and he needs to be able to pay back what he stole, but it's just not enough for Gerard. Gerard just straddles him, and I'm like, what is he going to do? So what is he going to take a pee on him? What's he going to do? And then he pulls out a bat and takes one final swing at his head.
Yep.
And then they go and check his pockets, and this is where you see Cuddy's face. He looks mildly disgusted by this. So, yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, and it's it's all on this process for Cuddy. It seems like it's just the same. It's like this is what we're doing these days. So even though he was the most effective at getting the girlfriend to talk, he
doesn't like what he's becoming again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yep, I think.
And I don't like it either.
Okay. Well, all right.
Because it's not very sexy.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But guess what, Ellie? Not everything is,
not all
wine
about,
and roses.
Damn it.
Yeah. I looked up because I thought that the jersey that the guy was wearing was a
the green
Sonics jersey.
Oh, because it was green and yellow.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was a Pass the Rock jersey, which actually, there were only two.
Rock?
I don't know. It was just a basketball warm-up clothing brand, and so they had 18 or 91 were the two jersey numbers.
Okay.
I think Dennis Rodman wore 91 if I remember correctly. So that's why I thought it was
right.
I thought it was for the Sonics it was Xavier McDaniels or Sean Kemp, but I don't think that's not neither of those is correct. But I just thought that would have been funny. But I spent a lot of time looking up who was number 91 on the Sonics. It turns out nobody was. So I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay. Now we know. I'm going to move on to Omar if you're ready.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, Omar and Kimmy are cleaning and loading weapons for their next attack on the Barksdale organization, it appears. Omar asks Dante if he's going to help, but Dante doesn't want to help because he's going to be waiting in the wings, it sounds like, on the next attack. And so he's being really pissy about it. And Kimmy yells at him that that's where he belongs, so she doesn't have to worry about him. Omar has to break up the argument and tells them that they are both out if they can't get along. And that's about that for Omar.
Yeah, so two questions for you.
Sure.
The first one is more a statement, but this is obviously where we get confirmation that Dante killed Tasha.
Yeah.
Right. Even though it was pretty clear.
Yep.
This one is Kimmy knew that Dante killed her.
Yep. That's why you don't get to get a gun.
Yes, exactly. Well, that too. Yeah. And then, do you think that Dante was being pissy? I guess, I don't know. it's Dante, so he's kind of a minor character. But I was like trying to think. I wonder if he's trying to deal with his own guilt in what he did.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
So he feels like, or is it just he's been kind of demoted?
I think he's been kind of demoted, but when you're kind of in a situation like that, you at least want to do something to be able to make it right.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have the opportunity to do something to make it right now because he's been made ineffectual.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Good observation. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's move on here to McNulty, who's watching Stringer, and he follows him, I think, from his college to a construction site on one of probably Stringer's properties. It is clear that McNulty's bored with how law-abiding Stringer's life is right now. He finally gives up. He throws his coffee down, walks into Stringer's business, copycat, to talk to him. He tells Stringer that he hasn't seen him around the way, and Stringer tells him that he's straight now. He just has his copying business and some properties. He'd be happy to make any copies of legal documents that McNulty needs. And oh, by the way, would he be interested in a place to live? Because he has some loft apartments coming up by the Hippodrome. And this is too where we hear the epigraph, the "I had such fucking hopes for us" from McNulty. So it's fun. McNulty's face, he's just cracking a big smile, like he's quite amused by this turn of events.
Oh, do you think he's amused?
Oh, I think he's not happy about it, but he is amused that Stringer has, gone to this level in the game. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I kind of looked at it as like, what's the, like rueful.
It was probably rueful too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck this bullshit already.
Man, they gave us 15 cases of legal, but they shorted us on the colored bonds. What's going on, man? Oh, I got this. Officer.
Detective String. You remember? Bird trial. Detective McNulty.
You want something copied, man? Search warrant, court papers, anything I do to help, you know?
I ain't seen you around the way.
I'm not round the way no more. You want to find me? I'm right here.
Right here, huh?
This and some real estate I'm working on is all. More than enough to occupy me, really. Say, where you living, man?
Where am I living?
Well, if you're thinking of coming downtown, I got some condos about to come on the line in 8 months. You say the word, I'm gonna hook you up something nice down there by the Hippodrome. Loft apartments. Real nice.
You disappoint me, String. I had such fucking hopes for us.
Have a nice day, officer.
Yeah, I think the only thing I wanted to add about this is that when McNulty says "fuck this bullshit," it reminded me of what he said when they were arresting Avon. They were like staring. They're like, fuck. I think he says enough of this bullshit already. Yeah. And then he walks in with and he's like, "You and me, Lieutenant." So he kind of does the same thing. Which one thing about The Wire is that they will repeat things as kind of by design. So I think that was kind of part of it as well. So coming in to confront Stringer. I think it's curious to know what his end game was there. I don't really can't even think of what he was hoping to get out of it.
Right.
But clearly
he just had to engage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just couldn't wait anymore.
Couldn't sit around any longer. So, yep.
Well, McNulty comes back to the detail, and Freeman asks if he's got anything from Stringer right now, but McNulty reluctantly reports that Stringer has become the bank. Prez asks on behalf of the audience what the bank is. We find out that it's, when somebody has a series of legitimate businesses that generate some income, which in turn fund drug purchases, and then it helps to launder the money earned so that it all seems clean and legit. But really, this means that Stringer will never be close enough to the drugs to be arrested. So McNulty asks for the latest on Quintel Williamson, on whom they have just a couple of DNRs, dialed number recorders. So it's not looking good for them.
Yep.
It's been a week, McNulty. Either you got something on Stringer or you don't.
Try to sell me a condo. Cocksucker. Might as well join the Rotary and take up golf or some shit.
He's running with the hounds, though I'll bet his heart is still with the Fox.
Stringer's out of the game?
Mr. Bell has become the bank.
The bank?
The bank plays it legit. He generates a good bit of honest income, but at the same time, his money finances packages that he himself will never touch. He won't go near the street. He's insulated from the everyday operations of the corner. The money that comes back is then laundered through enough straight business investments that there's no way to trace it. A player gets to that point, there ain't no way in hell a working police is gonna tie a can to his tail.
Oh, man.
So, Quintel Williamson, the Prince of Pimlico. Where are we at on this mope?
DNR's on a couple of payphones.
Yeah, and I think that's any questions about how the Freeman's like layout of the situation. It seemed pretty straightforward.
It did. Yeah, it seemed pretty straightforward. And, you know, Freeman didn't hold it against him. He gave him his time. And McNulty acquiesced as he said that he would.
Yeah. I guess it connects back to some of those drug kingpins, like the Charlie Sollers that Prop Joe was talking about, and how you never heard his name or anything. And it's kind of like, that's how you get to that, is you have to like work your way up till you have enough money that you can essentially work through other people. So did you connect it? We'll talk about the Marlo discussion later, but did you connect it to that at all? Or
no?
Okay. Well, let's cover that a little bit later. So,
all right. In the meantime, Stringer is putting together the New Day Co-op. And I love that they got the sign on the hotel conference center. So he's got all these drug kingpins together to vote on this new initiative. They're going to join their buying power to get better deals on the drugs they purchase. And I love this too. I mean, so they all agree. They all, you know, a couple of them take their sweet time to raise their hands, but ultimately they all do it. They're all kind of impressed that they pulled it off, to be quite honest. And I love that Shamrock is trying to take minutes. I love Robert's rules. Stringer just being incredulous, like, you taking notes on a fucking criminal conspiracy? Oh, that's so good. So yeah, I did not see this coming, I gotta say. I mean, you know, I was impressed with the Stringer Prop Joe working together, but pulling everybody else in on this so soon was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just to make sure everybody knows, the line is tomorrow for the New Day Co-op. Tomorrow's success stories start today, which I mean, that's just gold.
Today.
Like
it is. Oh my God.
We're living in the world of ChatGPT right now, where you can say, "Can you write me a slogan for a New Day Co-op?" And that's what that would come out with. But somebody came up with that at some point. So I feel like it's more of a Prop Joe line than anybody else.
It does feel Prop Joe-ish.
Yeah. I just want to mention that. So Rick. Is the wire name is Fat Face Rick.
Okay.
And then Quintel Williamson is the last guy who raises his hand.
He's the one who was reluctant to at the very end. He kind of looks to the left to see, and then
I can't remember. No, that was a different guy.
Okay.
He's got a cigar, or he's smoking a cigarette, and he's got long dreadlocks.
Yeah, no, that's who I'm talking about.
Okay. Because there was another guy that looked back, but I didn't think it. Okay, anyway. So Quintel Williams is the last guy to raise his hand.
Okay.
And so there's that. But yeah, taking notes on a criminal's conspiracy. Alan Sepinwall did mention that was like one of the funniest lines ever in the entire thing.
I loved that so much.
Just a great line. And so
Yo. No, fucker, what is that?
The Robert rules say we gotta have minutes for a meeting, right? These the minutes.
Nigga, is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck is you thinking, man?
But of course, it's so funny and about Stringer like trying to apply the Robert's Rules of Order, and Shamrock is like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it as best as I possibly can, and he can't connect it to the fact that he's keeping track of
so amazing.
who voted yay or nay.
Exactly.
Part of this conspiracy. So, and it's happened a lot since, like that line gets used so much these days with, you know, the amount of, like, I remember hearing all about it, like during Trump's first term, about like, because there was so much of a paper trail, and you're like, are you taking notes? It's just ridiculous stuff.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Anyway, so it was always funny. I just love when it gets pulled out because it's just so good.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, McNulty's boys are playing video games at his place, and McNulty's trying to get a little info about Mom's not new boyfriend, Dennis. But Mom has made that a no-go topic of conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
They ask if he's going to go to their school's open house and tell him that actually he has to go because all the other fathers are going to be there. So he just kind of lies back on the bunk bed and looks sort of resigned to how things are.
Yep. It's kind of hitting the wall in a couple of different areas.
Yes, indeed. All right. Avon is out of prison. Stringer and Shamrock are there to pick him up. He jokes to Shamrock about how he got picked up in a Ford. Scares the crap out of Shamrock.
Yeah.
They bring him a new set of clothes, and as they drive away, we see the prison blues fly out the window. So, a wonderful moment for Avon.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
What's up, baby?
Man, I've been here for 26 months. You come pick me up in a motherfucking Ford. What's up, baby? Oh.
What up, man?
Woo! Man, I'm feeling real good to be out of this motherfucker. You know what? It's a sign on the other side of this gate. They say never again. And that's the only fucking thing I want to take with me from this place.
First thing first, man, let's get you looking right. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yes. Yes. Good looking, baby.
He once again uses the term "What's up, baby?"
What's up,
which
baby?
What's
up, baby?
I said last time. I just love that line, and he delivers it again. So, and he said "never again," but then he clearly litters on the side of the road.
Yeah,
which is a crime. He should go right back to jail.
He should. All right. Okay. Kima is following Marlo, who has just paid a young boy to watch his car for him, I think.
Yep.
She follows him as he rolls out in a black Mercedes. Nice one. And as she's waiting outside his place, who else rolls up? It is Stringer. So next, McNulty has joined Kima to observe something happening. He doesn't quite know what. She just tells him to wait patiently. And inside this real broken down abode, Stringer expresses his appreciation for this place that is really secure. He says, only bug in here gonna have legs.
Yep.
I love that. He starts telling Marlo about the history of, quote, smart players that the city has had. One was a peanut. Did you notice that?
I did notice, yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Again. And he also talks about the benefits of being organized. And so he talks about the Mercedes that Marlo has probably purchased in his aunt's name, which we actually remember from a previous episode, and how that purchase is going to bite him in the ass later, and how Marlo doesn't have a place to launder his money, right? And this whole time this is going on, McNulty is annoyed because Kima's not going to tell him what's up. And finally, we see Marlo and Stringer coming out. And McNulty is so pleased about this. He tells her that he will happily buy her some PBRs.
Yep.
And as Stringer leaves, Marlo says to one of his guys, tell our people to tool up.
Yep.
So Marlo's not listening.
No.
He doesn't want to join the New Day co-op.
Right.
It's not good.
Yeah.
No, the entire time his face is just like fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time, basically.
Yeah. 100%.
His face is scary.
Yeah.
Marlo making a move?
Just watch.
Forget everything the boy Bodie told you. Forget the beating. It ain't about that. You smart, man. I could see that. I wanted you to choose somewhere safe for us to speak, but goddamn. Only bugs and this motherfucker gonna have legs. Nah, I appreciate smart. But you gotta know in this game, man, it ain't enough. You a student of history? You know this town had its share of smart players, man. Melvin, Little Will, Big Head Brother, Peanut, Warren. All real smart, man. Real smart. You know, as soon as their names rang out, bam, feds is on them. Know what I mean? Government ain't want you to be organized. Nah, they want you scrimping and scraping and killing each other on the corner on some bullshit. Not me. That's why me and Prop Joe, we're getting ready to put this co-op together. Different crews, one package. Best dope, best coke. Share and share alike.
Been hearing about that.
You been hearing about that? Oh, that's good. That's a start, right? You know that Mercedes you got riding out there, man? You got that titled in your aunt's name or some shit? Now, when they come get you, that straw purchase out there gonna come bite you in the ass, boy. That's what they do. They turn your money against you. Now I'm thinking with the corners that you got, you close to $1 million, right?
Doing all right?
You doing all right? But I ain't got your name on the crib, right? Ain't got you a little spot for you to wash that dirty money? That's what I'm offering you, man.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets in with Herc later, it's crazy.
Oh my God, that whole scene. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. The other name that was mentioned after Peanut, which of course, hilarious, but also Melvin, which Melvin Williams is the deacon.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that was a reference to that. And then the guy that was waiting outside is Chris Partlow. So that's who Bubbles.
That was
Bubs
Partlow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll see plenty of him.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Well, good to know. All right. That evening, McNulty catches up with Elena at the open house, and Elena has concerns about the integrated math program. McNulty is instantly uninterested. I mean, he does not even listen for more than like 5 seconds before he heads over to the refreshments table where he meets Terry D'Agostino. And he charms her by being a cute, flirty dope.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you know? Next thing, they are doing it. And she is kind of vicious. She is pretty rough.
Yep.
And after the act, D'Agostino has some work to do. She tells McNulty to get going. She has to repeat that message a little bit more forcefully. I just love it because finally McNulty gets to see what it's like to be on the other side of the rejection.
Yeah.
Oh, it's uncomfortable and I like it a lot.
Yeah, just the highlight for me was Elena's look at McNulty after 10 seconds.
Yes.
She just shakes his head.
Yeah,
her head.
She knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and then she sees him later when they're she sees them talking.
Yes, at the
Teresa
table.
And Jimmy, and it's just she just could not hate him more.
A lot to hate there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if McNulty. If there was a connection to when McNulty picked up the waitress at the diner, and it just felt very opposite of the experience. I don't know, or maybe not. Just but anyway, it was just it was very interesting for McNulty. Like his charm stopped working on Terry as soon as they were done. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
I can't imagine what kind of work a political consultant needs to do it, however late that is. And I got to work. It's like, what are you working on?
Okay. Avon has a welcome home party going on. He gets to see his sister, and they both are, remark that it's sad that Dee's not coming home too. Prop Joe notices Avon, tells him he's looking fit because all there is to do in prison is work out, and maybe Prop Joe needs to go there for that. Never happened. Stringer's talking to a group of guys in suits, but Avon only has eyes for a pretty lady in a black dress. But before he can talk to her, Stringer brings him to come talk to the suits too. And it's Clay Davis, Levy, and Krychek.
Krychek, yeah.
Krychek. And they are there telling him about what to do with his properties and his investments, yada, yada, yada. He's not really that interested. While that is going on, Avon notes that Gerard and Sapper are downstairs. They come in, they look like they're high, and they're being kind of crazy. So he tells Slim Charles to get rid of them, says, hey, we need some discipline up in here. And then the pretty lady walks up the stairs. Avon tries to talk to her again. Stringer says, I got to show you something. And then takes him to a very beautifully appointed apartment and tells him that there's a Lincoln Navigator down in the garage for him. And it's all in his own name. They start reminiscing about how they were when they were younger. Stringer wanted to have some grocery stores, entrepreneurial always, and Avon more of the warrior, but always brothers, they make a point of. And Avon throughout this whole time, he keeps trying to say, I've been locked down. I've been locked down. And Stringer leaves him and then comes back, knocks on the door saying he left something. And when Avon goes to the door, one of the woman in the black dress and another white lady are waiting there.
Yep.
What is it with always two women in this show for the guys? Always. Like, that's the ultimate, is two women.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead and explain it, Chris. What is that about? That's every man's dream? That's what it is? Okay, it's fine.
Well, it's funny because I do think about at the time, it to me, it's very much of a piece. At the time that this was written, the idea of a menage a trois was
you're right.
was still like this, like kind of,
Yes.
I don't know.
It wasn't like Paris Olympics yet.
What?
Remember the Paris Olympics? Did you watch the intro? And they had the whole thing with the menage a trois.
Yeah.
So in your face.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're there now.
No,
okay.
but it was like, it was always about, it was kind of like, this is the mark of a man's virility.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so hot that two women will have sex with him. Now, obviously, these women are I think, I'm assuming, are getting paid for their work. I would guess so. So they're, which is kind of funny because then it's like, well, clearly it's just, set a price and then that's what. Anyway,
there's never a woman with two men in this show. I'm just,
Well, is that something that
it might be for some people? I don't know.
Well, okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but
what
the joke that whenever there's a menage a trois discussion, the joke that always works is if I wanted to disappoint two people, I just call my parents.
I don't think I've heard that before.
I mean,
that's so good.
It's so funny because fine, you open the door, so I'm just gonna burst right through it. But he breathes out, and it's just like he's gonna last like 10 seconds. Like he's gonna pull his pants down. One of them's gonna put her hand on his penis, and he's just gonna burst at that point. And then it's like, okay, now I've got to rest, and then I can, they're just gonna sit around and they have a drink, and okay, you ready to go?
Okay, let's go.
All right, so you asked the question.
I did.
You should have known the answer.
I know,
really.
I
You should have
did.
known better than to ask me something like that. So.
That was worth it, though.
All right, well, but if I'll just go all the way. My perspective has always been the reason why a man fantasizes about a menage a trois is because in his lizard brain, he thinks he's so hot that a woman will change her sexuality just to be with him,
just to please him,
so that's always been the working theory for me.
That actually makes so much sense.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, then
it's
there you
pretty
go.
Brilliant.
Okay, well, thank you very much. All right. See, it was worth it. It was worth it for me to be completely crushed.
I've learned something today.
Okay, well, there you go.
All right.
You had to ask.
I did. Okay. Bunk.
Let's get back on track, Ellie. Come on.
We're up to Bunk now.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Bunk is interviewing a man who witnessed the shootout between Omar's people and Barksdale's guys.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, he doesn't seem to be able to identify anyone.
Nope.
He doesn't realize that Omar has a scar, but then again, he knows who Omar is.
Yep.
Anyhow, Bunk wants to bring him in for his report, but just at that moment, Landsman comes up, and Landsman notes that Bunk is not at the location associated with the theft of Dozerman's gun, and tells him that that's what he needs to be doing right then and there. So Bunk can't even bring the guy in. He's got to go straight over to Pimlico. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's unfortunate. I don't understand why Homicide has to find the gun and not the guys who work in the Western, since it was on their, they're the ones that the gun was lost on. Like, why isn't it up to those detectives to find the gun? Why does it go?
That's a great question.
Is Bunk up the chain?
No.
No? Yeah, I just didn't understand that.
Me, Oscar, a bunch of the guys, we seen it. Couldn't help it. They practically ran right past us.
And the victim, the girl, had a gun. Whose side was she on?
Couldn't tell. They weren't doing slow motion.
Did any of them have a big scar? Do you think you'd be able to recognize any of them again if you saw them?
Just Omar.
Oh, so you know Omar.
Omar came up around here.
Yeah, that's good, Bruce. Very good. You do know Omar has a scar, right?
You do?
I think we better go to my office, put this down on paper. Come on.
Officer,
Excuse me, officer? Is this, North and Pulaski? Because I could fucking swear Dozeman was shot up at North and Pulaski. Oh, no, wait. Let me guess. The pursuit of your fellow officer's service weapon has led you to this fine citizen. Tell me, kind sir, do you know the whereabouts of said officer's weapon? I didn't think so. Calls from the detention center. Some kind souls begging to assist you in your foundering investigation.
Let me just grand jury my man here, lock in the story.
Now for the gun, later for his story. And that's your sergeant talking.
You know, it's an excellent question. The only thing I have is what I mentioned last time is that this actually happened to Ed Burns' partner. Yeah. So I think they're just probably trying to hew close to that actual story.
Okay.
But that's a great question. I mean, you know, essentially what Forrester said last time was this case isn't down until the gun comes home.
Yeah.
So whatever they're deciding as a solved case has to include the gun being returned, which I think is pretty silly. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, have, you know, Foot Patrol or whoever else. I guess maybe they don't have. Is there another agency, another department in CID that would do that work? I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know either. So I guess that's the only answer. Is like, who else is going to do the work?
Exactly.
So.
Okay. Well.
Oh, and sorry.
Go ahead.
My first interruption. You know, Landsman.
Yeah.
Is so good, and also Bruiser, the drunk guy, the witness.
Okay. Yes.
He's great too.
Oh, he's fabulous.
I mean,
I know. The squinty eyes.
Yeah. And then when Landsman says, you know, pardon me, good sir, and he lays out whatever it is, like Bruiser just kind of like squints and twitches a little bit. Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? But he just does it all in a gesture. It's really terrific.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think Landsman had some leads for Bunk.
Yep.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. So Bunk goes and looks into the leads, which are prisoners who are really just telling a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
I love the guy with the dink and flat nose dink and dink dink and dink dink.
Yep.
That dink dead.
Yep.
Anyhow, everybody wants some kind of immunity for crimes they've committed. None of it goes anywhere.
Yep.
It's hilarious to watch, but really you can just see as you're going through each person that this is just people coming up with stories to get some attention and maybe get out of prison a little earlier.
Low man, up on beats here, one of his boys in the dormitory. His brother's tight with the girlfriend of that boy that shot that police. Low man saying, if you sprung the three of us, we can get it talking. You know, find the gun.
Hey, yo, I'm hearing the boy Dink got that man gun. Now, I ain't sure yet if that Dink be Dink Dink or Inky Dink or maybe Fat Dink. Then again, it might be Flat Nose Dink. No, wait. Nah, that can't be him. That Dink dead.
Look, man, I can help you. But first, you gotta get me out from under these murder beefs.
Yeah, how many murders are we talking?
Look, man, do it have to be the cop's gun? Because if it's guns you want, I can get you guns.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out who had the hopes for this situation. Was it Landsman had high hopes for this and it obviously just didn't pan out?
Exactly. Oh my God, what a waste of time this was.
Oh, 100%, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you ignore that, the comedy in these conversations, is it sure is it a cop's gun you want? Because I can get you.
I can get you a gun.
So good, just hilarious. So just a great scene altogether. If just unfortunately doesn't lead anywhere. So.
It does not. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm going to move on to Colvin in the Western. All right, you're ready for that. Mm-hmm. All right, Colvin sergeants and lieutenants, they're telling him that they're disappointed that the plan for this free zone did not work out. They tried their best. They could have made some real awesome changes, but that's just how it goes. Colvin isn't pleased with the news. He asks Carver what the new plan is. Carver tells him something to do with zebras and changing shifts. I totally did not catch on to it, but Colvin remarks that it's just the same, even though Mello chimes in that it's the same but better.
Yep.
And Colvin walks off. There's another person walking out of the scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's not sounding good, and it seems like all the other guys are pretty happy, actually, to go back to the way things were, actually, because that's what they're better at, what they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, I don't know what more you could have done.
Charlie's right, boss. Try.
Well, fucking hoodleheads won't cooperate. Here you are giving them their own block or two, offering them a place to sell drugs in peace, and do they even fucking listen?
It's a damn shame, too, because if it worked, you might have had a positive effect on the community.
You guys are some lying sacks of shit.
I'm saying, sir, they just ain't...
I'm guessing that you have some thoughts on where we should go from here.
Well, sir, we were thinking a modified zebra operation. Jump outs rotating from sector to sector combined with a zero-tolerance approach. We detail a couple of men from each shift, build a flex unit, double up on the head knocking and corner clearing.
More of the same, you mean?
But better.
Better?
Better than nothing.
Burrell and Rawls are back to tearing a new asshole for all the commanders. They are talking to one guy about his strategy for dealing with car thefts. They basically bully him into changing the majority of his shifts for officers from the daytime to the nighttime. During this exchange, Rawls does ask Commander Forster about the gun that shot Dozerman that we were talking about previously. Forster tells him they're making progress on it as they speak, which we know to not actually be the case. In the meanwhile, Colvin and Mello are watching with annoyance and make a comment about fecal gravity, the shit rolling down the hill. So.
Yeah, I just want to, again, had such fucking high hopes. Colvin and his officers, he's going to try this and it doesn't work. The more of the same, but better. Just, that line just kills me. Just so good. We're gonna do it better this time.
Yeah.
So what the hell? So anyway, and then
this time it'll work.
Yeah, and then fecal gravity. My God, I mean, that's such a line.
Yeah.
It just, and you see it everywhere.
Everywhere,
it's just crazy.
Everywhere.
So, yeah.
It is. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fecal gravity is everywhere. But Colvin has an idea inspired by fecal gravity. He says we can't get the hoppers to move. We need to work with the mid-level dealers. So he goes to Carver. He asks who's his Carver is his drug enforcement unit sergeant.
Yep.
His DEU sergeant. That's right. He asks for the names of the mid-level dealers, but Carver says he doesn't have them and that he'll need to go to narcotics or something to find the information. You know, let's pin this for life lesson, because this is not the kind of answer that gets you promoted. What the hell? You give an answer like that to your boss? I would never try to say, but I will try to find out.
Yes.
Is there something I can do? Anyway, Colvin is clearly irritated by that answer.
Yeah.
So he moves on to narcotics. And he talks to, I think it's Major Smith, who might now lead the unit after Daniels has left.
Smith.
Yeah. But Smith has a super thin file. He tells them that Rawls has them so busy doing street level stuff that nobody has the time to figure out who the top guys are in West Baltimore anymore. So moving on, his next stop is Daniels and CID, where they, of course, have much more information for him. He is duly impressed, and he is also quite happy to see Jimmy McNulty, with whom he used to work. Bushy Top.
Yep.
Who he also had a lot of IID's, Independent Investigation Division, reports for. Interesting. They ask Colvin what he's going to do with the information that he has, and he says he's going to round them up and put a little ComStat on their ass. And that's kind of it. The whole gang is pretty amused with the nickname Bushy Top.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
How the fuck is this little run of a unit holding all this drug intelligence? I made the rounds down at headquarters, came up with Jack, and y'all holding all this.
Well, you run a couple of wiretaps, you fill up a file cabinet pretty fast.
This is great, thanks. Oh, shit! Damn. I heard this where you landed. This pretty boy. I broke his ass in. I wrote more on ID complaints on Bushy Top here than on the whole goddamn squad. That's till he scuffed himself up. Now, where you at, McNulty?
1911 South Clinton Street, first floor.
Yeah. I know you gotta keep them close. But still, it's a good goddamn police right here.
So what brings you to our shop?
I'm trying to find out who running my corners. My own DU is just about street riffs and headquarters with no help neither. Y'all saved my ass, so...
You tell him about your boy, Marlo?
It's in the files, along with every other mid-level player we know.
You don't mind me asking, what are you gonna do with all that, Major?
Well, I'll round up these young men. Put a little Comstead on their ass. Gentlemen, man, bush it top.
Bushy top.
Yeah, let me just back up, just if you don't mind, just for a second.
Go for
So, you will cover the life lesson. You totally got that. So Rawls. So I just think the conversation with Major Smith, I just he kind of flies by because you're kind of paying attention to how Colvin's journey,
right?
But the comment about Rawls's directive about like we're just doing street rips, like he, and in fact, if you go back to the Comstat meeting directly, now the lieutenant that was sort of presenting, he obviously wasn't. His organization wasn't effective,
right?
Because obviously they're not preventing, and so a crime from happening. But nevertheless, Rawls says, "Okay, here's what you're going to do." So he's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to do it so I don't get my ass chewed out."
Yeah.
Is that actually solving the problem? So here is Major Smith saying, Rawls is telling us we have to do all this stuff, and it is preventing like a much more effective style of policing. So it's just
right.
It just really goes to show that you're like, there's all these short-term gains. This is kind of what they were talking about in the last episode about how you can be, or 2 episodes ago, about being cynical about institutions, but not about individuals. So the individuals always want to do, you can tell that Major Smith himself is frustrated by the fact that they don't have this information, but it's like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, the institution is telling me this is how I have to run things for now.
Exactly.
So just an interesting point. And then the interaction with Colvin and the detail is just, I mean, this is where Robert Wisdom, who plays Bunny Colvin, is so good.
Oh, it's great.
And when he sees McNulty, he calls him Bushy Top, and just like looking at him, at McNulty, the way that he is, good goddamn police right here, just terrific.
Yeah, it's great. That whole scene makes you smile.
Yeah, 100%. And then, and then he leaves by saying, "Gentlemen, ma'am," and same thing that Omar says after Bird gets killed in season 1. There, he's in the detail office and he says, "That it, gentlemen, ma'am?" And then he walks out. I did ask, believe it or not, I asked David Simon on Twitter, what is that? Now, of course, it's completely obvious, but it's always a bunch of guys and Kima.
Yep.
And so it's "gentlemen, ma'am." And I said, "Well, what would you say if there were more than one woman?" And it's "gentlemen and ladies." And so, of course, that was obvious, but I just, but David Simon actually did respond to me with that question. So, good on him. Thank you, David Simon. You've enhanced my life even more than just this show by itself. So thank you for that. So, all right, that's it.
All right. Thank you, David Simon.
Yeah.
Okay. Colvin tells his guys who the middle managers are, and Carver asks why he thinks they'll listen. To which Colvin responds that he feels for these guys. He knows what middle management is all about. There's lots to be in charge of, but not enough power to tell anyone to go F themselves. I love that comparison.
Yep.
So we see these guys all round up the mid-level dealers. And it's kind of like a little bit, you're just getting a little montage. But then we get to Carver and Herc trying to do this to Marlo, trying to round up Marlo. And Marlo says, "It ain't going to happen."
Yeah.
And then Herc gets up in his face. And while Herc is talking to him about being disrespected, Carver starts noticing that the guys around them are kind of stepping in a little closer. They are looking like very deadly people. There are a lot of them. And from an upstairs window in a nearby building, Kima is looking on. She says, oh, crap, some shit's about to go down. Calls Prez about a potential situation. But fortunately, Carver clues in enough. He calls Herc off, says he gets a pass. We're on the Major's time. He grabs, I think, a baseball bat that he sees in the bushes. And then they leave. And we see Colicchio drive by with Bodhi in the back of his car.
Yep.
Colvin explains how Amsterdam works to them all. You know, that this is the carrot in the situation. Bodhi asks what he gets out of it, what Colvin gets out of it. And Colvin says, hey, you know, I get the hoppers out of the neighborhoods. And someone asks if it's a trap. He assures them there's no cameras. The cops are going to be on the perimeter. Bodhi says, well, what happens if we buck? And Colvin explains the stick side of things. He says some biblical shit will happen to you while you're in the jail wagon.
Yep.
And while that's going on to you, the others will be here making money. But it makes a really convincing case, I think, for them.
That's the good part. That's what I call a carrot. Now, you move your people into any designated area I told you about, and you'll have immunity from arrest and prosecution. You're free to make your drops, collect what need collecting. Won't nobody bother you. You got my word on it.
What do you get out of this?
That's a fair question. I want to salvage what's still worth salvaging in my district. And I can't do that with a bunch of young hoppers running around scaring the hell out of decent people. Now, these kids ain't gonna listen to me, but they will listen to y'all. Now, you tell them to move down here and set up a shop, and they will. It's the way I got it figured. I motivate you, and you motivate them.
No, that's the trap.
No, you check out the spot. There ain't no cameras, ain't no microphones, nothing. Any cops you see gonna be down right on the perimeter, just to make sure there's no violence. And you watch. You see if it don't work out the way I say.
Nothing personal against you, Chief, but what happens if we buck?
Remember the carrot, right? Well, you choose to stick instead. You gonna feel that stick like you ain't never felt before. We gonna indict every corner, every day. I got over 200 sworn personnel, and I plan to free up every one of them to knock every one of y'all down they can. You on the corner in my district? It ain't gonna be about no humble, ain't gonna be about no loitering charge, nothing like that. There's gonna be some biblical shit happening to you on the way to that motherfucking jail wagon, you understand me? And while you bucking the new system, the smart ones among you gonna be down here, making money, hand over fist. So think it over. I swear to God, come Monday, your world and mine ain't gonna be the same.
As he finishes up, though, a little old lady pulls her groceries into her house. And he's like, oh, shit, it's not vacant after all. He tells Mello this is something else I'm going to have to deal with.
Yep.
So, yeah, they missed her the first time around.
Yep.
Poor lady. I hope they find another place for her to live.
Okay.
It's a little safer.
Okay.
You say, okay, like we're going to see her again. Oh, are we going to see her again? Oh, I hope she's
What's
okay.
What's that outside? Okay.
I'm getting worried about her. Yeah. Anyway, anything you want to share about that?
I liked how he said you're scaring the hell out of decent people.
Yes.
I don't know, for some reason that line landed with me. Just like if you're out of the game, you're a decent person, but
yeah,
you could be a complete asshole. But as long as you're not,
yeah, exactly. As long as you're a hopper. Yeah, for sure.
So, but otherwise, no, you got it. I mean,
okay.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, you know. I just connected the discussion that Stringer had with Marlo, and you know, it's just a lot more persuasive, I guess. Like the way that he was describing the carrot and the stick, whereas with Stringer it was like, oh, the feds are going to be on you, and you can definitely tell that. Like for Marlo, he's like, I'm facing criminal prosecution regardless. So who cares if it's the feds? I don't give a shit.
He's just gonna kill whoever gets in his way. Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna keep doing what he's gonna do.
Right.
Whereas with Colvin, it's just like, do you understand what the value is that you're getting here? And so, you know, Stringer just, you know, I'm gonna step on my life lesson, so I'll just leave it there and I'll come back to it later. So,
okay. Well, Stringer's looking out over a pier, and we have some scenes like Domino Sugar and the Museum of Industry. Bodhi comes up, tells him he remembers a field trip to that area way back in the 6th grade. He tells Stringer what happened with the Western. And Stringer says, you shouldn't sell drugs. And I was like, at this moment, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because immediately Stringer like holds up his shirt and starts to pretend. And then I realized he thinks that Stringer might have a wire on him.
Bodie, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, Bodie might have a wire on him. Bodie's very willing to show that he does not. Anyhow, he continues explaining about Amsterdam and that, that's all, they were really decent to us. And Stringer asks if that's it. And Bodie says that's it, ... and that boy Marlo, which we know is going to be a problem.
Yep.
Okay. Hoppers start coming in. Guy is about to leave, and he tells the cops, hey, there's no one here to buy. So Carver looks at Herc. Herc says, oh, no, you can't make me. And then Carver, I think the 3 fingers on his arms, like, I have stripes, I have rank on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Herc and Colicchio roll up on Johnny. Johnny's about to buy. They put his money back in his pocket.
Yeah.
They tell the dealer that the coroner is indicted. And Sandy comes up. They put Johnny in a wagon and they roll him away. They unload Johnny and some other guys in Amsterdam. And the open market has begun. Mm-hmm. You hear them basically. It's like if you're, hawking your wares in a bazaar or something like that. And I think Sandy chimes in, like, I hear WMD is the bomb.
Yeah.
And Johnny's in a daze. You see things from his perspective. It's just like, what is going on? And later we see Carver explaining to Colvin and Mello that everybody's getting quite comfortable with the situation and that the Hoppers are calling it Amsterdam.
Yep.
So that's it for that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the WMD is the bomb. Alan Sepinwall said that was one of the episode's 2 contenders for funniest wire line ever.
Oh, really?
So that was great. Yeah. I love seeing Santangelo come in because he talked, yeah. So just great stuff there.
Yes.
And then, I could swear that the guy that was selling drugs was the guy that McNulty talked to when he was looking for Omar.
Okay.
There was a black hat and the blackjack is what kind of made me think of it. But,
yeah.
And then, then he was like at a bazaar. I went to London, God, 10 years ago, and there's a street where there are all these Indian restaurants, and the food there is unbelievable. But outside of every restaurant is a guy trying to get you. I don't know if you have been.
I've had that situation. Yeah,
and that's exactly like Johnny has gotten his drugs and he's walking off, and people
I know there's just
trying to like sell more. So
yes,
it is incredible. So and it's such a funny. It's just a funny aspect of I don't know. I'm trying to like when you come up with an idea. I mean, and you being a writer, like I think you must have this happen to you quite often where you have I have an idea for a story, and then you get to here's like the outline, and then you realize that there are like multiple layers that you hadn't thought of, and you have to keep going. And the same thing with Colvin. It's like we'll just move all the drug dealers.
Exactly.
And he didn't think about like. Wait, where are the customers coming from? So I'm sure word of mouth or whatever.
It'll just
shuttle people.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just a hilarious kind of. If you can have the police working for you to help, get publicity out for your business, then that's good. So,
yes.
Yeah. And then the Amsterdam line is just hilarious. Just calling it Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
So, yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on to Carcetti if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Carcetti if you're ready. All right, Carcetti's reading the news. He sees that a state's witness has been murdered, and his colleague, Tony Gray, is that right? Okay. He doesn't seem to think much of it, but Carcetti says, hey, this is a big deal, and he says he's going to do something about it. And Tony makes a joke about him thinking he's Superman, and Carcetti walks out the door like he's on a mission. He leaves, again, the room. Just saying. This happens a lot. Carcetti has come to the mayor's office to tell him the situation with the state's witnesses. He also tells him about what it means to be protected by the state, or by the city, I'm not sure, which includes a Fleabag hotel, a small stipend. We saw this with Nico in season 2, right? They stay in this hotel. It's just a piece of crap. He warns, hey, this could be big with the press, but then nothing will get done about it. So that's why I'm coming to you directly. The mayor puts on a good face.
Yep.
Kind of a bit of a ruse that he's going to do something about this pronto. But when Carcetti leaves, he kind of gives a look to his second. I think that guy's name is Parker.
Okay.
He looks at. Yeah.
I don't know that I actually know his name, but
I had
yeah,
to look
okay.
it up. I think it's Parker, if that's the right person. Kind of looks at him kind of like with his eyebrows raised.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, he's not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Later, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that line at the end, or
Yeah.
that exchange in the end is just so cynical.
It is. It is. Later, Carcetti's playing racquetball with Gray, and his frustration's showing in his game. He's kind of trying too hard, and it seems like he just can't get control of his game. Gray says, hey, you got what you wanted from the mayor. Carcetti warns that if the mayor is effing him around, he will pay.
Yep. Yeah. And now you can kind of see that, I think in this episode we talked about, or last episode we talked about Carcetti kind of being, what's his end game?
Yeah.
And he is just completely motivated by trying to solve a problem.
Yeah. He wants to make that thing. He's almost like McNulty in that way. But I'm wondering to see how much he'll burn down on the way there. At a council meeting, Burrell reports that they've got an academy class going on, despite unforeseen circumstances. Gray starts asking some questions about the murder of a state witness. And then Burrell looks to Rawls. Rawls chimes in with what their response has been. And Gray's like, well, it's a little late, isn't it? I mean, he was murdered. And he starts going hardcore on Burrell, right? And then Carcetti is looking, sideways at him. He slides over a pad of paper that says, lay off.
Yep.
And Carcetti later, so he does. He lays off. He says, okay, I know you have a pressing engagement. Carcetti puts his hand over the mic and it's like, what got into you? And Gray says, you did, buddy. You did. So,
yep,
that is interesting.
Yep.
He's kind of making his own monster there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's everything.
Yeah, I just wanted, the only thing I wanted to mention was that, I didn't notice this before, I think this time, but yeah, Burrell and Carcetti exchange a look.
Yeah.
In that scene. And
yeah.
I just, Burrell's like, what the hell is happening here?
You're supposed to be protecting me.
Yeah, exactly. And Carcetti just shakes his head because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, let me just check something real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Hotel. Okay. So, but otherwise, yeah, that's basically it. So now we kind of see, Tony Gray is kind of stepping up to do something. So now this is kind of an interesting, like, additional player. Right. That, that dynamic is going to, we'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, that is the end. I guess we got to all the storylines.
We did.
Okay. Well,
hallelujah.
I did want to mention that I was looking for the hotel that they stayed at, that Nick and Amy were stationed at, and it was on Pulaski Highway, but I can't remember where it was exactly. Right. So it was I think that was a 2-star hotel. The Executive Inn, according to yellowpages.com, was a 5-star hotel, also on Pulaski Highway.
Okay.
Or 4.5 stars.
Okay.
So just thought that was funny. Okay, so the callbacks you mentioned, D'Angelo was kind of referenced by Avon when he got back to, when he got to the party, wanted to be more than one. He didn't want to be the only one coming home, so you got that. And then, a couple of things about the music. Me and Baby Brother by War was played when Avon got in the car. So War is, I think they did Lowrider, which I just think is kind of interesting that would be playing.
Yeah.
Although I guess that was like country is known for that kind of music. So there you go.
Oh.
Full Circle by Hieroglyphics was playing in the club when Avon first enters. And then On Fire, also by Lloyd Banks, was also, I think that was like when he was going up to talk to the girl, the woman. So, little, not a lot of symbolism to that. So anyway, and then, okay, let's talk about the killer cameos.
Okay.
So did you have any off the top of your head that kind of stood out?
I mean, Bruiser, does he come back?
He does come back.
Oh, darn,
so,
okay.
And yeah, I mean, Mima, I gave Mima the win last time, even though she's playing, this now like her 3rd episode. So, I don't care. I don't care. Mima, you get an exception.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, God, again, like I just don't,
What about the girlfriend? Do we see the girlfriend again?
The girl from the club?
The thief?
No, she was and she was good
she
too.
gets
Yeah,
slapped. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very convincing.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like she got slapped.
Yeah, and her have we met before? Yeah, she was good. Yes, you're right about that. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
So actually, I had the drug dealers listen to Colvin because a lot of them, I guess, but you know what, Bodie's in there, so I guess I can't give that to them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give it to an ensemble, but I don't know. Like the girlfriend was really good.
She was really good.
I had the inmates helping bunk.
Oh my God, those are so good. Yes, I like that
hilarious.
one.
So, okay,
I like
all
that
right,
one.
all
Yes,
right.
they were hilarious. That was so fun.
Okay, all right,
yes.
all right. Well, I feel like
approve of
maybe
that
we have
one.
to have a tie because they're two very different things, right?
Very
like,
different.
To get yourself to get you, Ellie, to get angry at Cuddy.
Ooh,
that
man.
is a performance.
I know, because I was really liking Cuddy.
So we'll give
so much.
We'll give killer cameo serious and killer cameo comedy.
Okay.
And then each one
like
wins.
that.
So, but the
That
inmates,
works for me.
So okay, yes, but and I guess technically, like she was in the last episode, but you're right. She still gets it. She still gets the serious one. So, okay, well, let us get to our life lessons. So, let's expand on your. So let's just expand on your comment here about Carver.
Okay.
So, in other words, how would you describe the life lesson that you took away from Carver's answer to Colvin about what he was supposed to be doing as the DEU sergeant?
Oh my gosh, you just do not say. I mean, in any situation, unless you're being somehow really used and abused in your work or your usefulness or whatever, you don't say that's not my problem, that's not my purview, that's not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That just to nobody. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can understand if somebody is kind of abusing your helpfulness or your kindness or whatever, but otherwise offer something.
Yeah.
Offer anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, help somebody move forward, because that's only going to help you. You'll look better. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well said.
I would never to my boss be like, well, that's not something, that I'm supposed to be in charge of. Nobody ever told me that I was supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds shitty.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I will not. I don't even want. I can't add anything to it.
Yeah.
So, well said.
Okay.
Just a small. So I have my bigger one,
Okay.
but I wanted to say Bodie meeting with Stringer. I thought that was good managing up.
Yeah.
So kind of connected to yours, but manage up if you can.
Manage up.
I
like that.
Bosses are always wanting to. They need to make sure their asses are covered.
Right.
So if you can't manage up, like, hey, I should keep my boss, in the loop on what I'm doing.
For sure.
So anyway, not as impactful as Ellie's, and I think that's the winner for this one. But the other one I wanted to just mention. So you had Stringer with Marlo and Bubs with Johnny.
Yeah.
Meet someone where they are.
Yeah.
So, with Bubs and Johnny, like, it's not that the onus for Bubs, like, Bubs doesn't have any stake in Johnny like agreeing with him.
Yeah.
But clearly Bubs' argument isn't meeting Johnny at where he is.
Right.
It's just like, this is what's going to work for me.
Right.
Stringer, meanwhile, in Stringer's position, it's much more important because he is just lecturing Marlo and telling, here's why you should do this. But he doesn't understand what Marlo's motivation is. He doesn't understand anything about why Marlo is doing what he's doing. And obviously Marlo's take is there's going to be a conflict, so let's get ready.
Right.
And so he's kind of looking ahead. And if Stringer had just been more trying to understand Marlo's position, he could probably have a different discussion about it, and kind of how Colvin's persuasion worked, right? It's like, I don't care what in his situation, it was like, I don't care what your position is, but here's how you get what you want. And if you don't get it, here's how you're going to pay. And it made it in such a way that it was pretty clear that this is the right path.
Yeah.
Either you're boxed in or whatever, or it's just the pain of bucking isn't worth the cost. So anyway, but I think you don't do the least possible. I mean, God, like, it is incredible how much you can progress up the ladder by doing more than what's expected, and not 100%. That much.
Not that much. Even if you just said, I don't know, but that's something I can look into, or I'd be happy to help you with that.
Yeah.
I mean, God. And I just feel like Carver and Herc moved over to the Western, and they still have not learned why they were excluded so often in the detail.
Yeah.
They just still haven't gotten it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not sunken into their brains.
Yep.
Ugh.
Wow. Well said, Ellie. So we will leave it there. All right. Well, that gets us to the end. There wasn't a ton. It's not that anything needed to like to debate whether anything held up, because I still feel like there's so much still.
Yeah.
This could have been yesterday.
It could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, yeah, so not a ton to discuss there.
I don't think so.
All right, well, let us get to the most exciting part of the episode, which is your predictions. So you already had, they will find a home for the little old lady. So I already wrote that down.
Okay, please let them find a home for that little old lady. Please.
And, even though she's in this episode, I'm just going to say she is the favorite. She's the odds-on favorite to get killer cameo if she does appear in the next episode.
Okay.
So.
Oh my gosh, I hope she does. Okay, Cuddy. Let's see here. I think Cuddy is going to. He's going to have to do at least one more really shitty thing that makes him take a hard look at himself. So I think he's got one more shitty thing in store for himself before he's got one more thing before he hits rock bottom and starts making a change for the better. Okay. Omar, since we only saw him in one scene, I think we're going to get some more Omar in the next one. So I think Omar is going to start casing a Barksdale joint again for his next round against them.
Okay.
All right. Now we know Marlo is tooling up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Marlo's going to go after some Barksdale guys. Wow, man, this is bad for the Barksdale organization.
Mm-hmm.
Omar and Marlo. Whew.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, I think Marlo's going to go and again beat down some Barksdale boys like he did before.
Mm-hmm.
Bunk. I don't think Bunk's going to get anything else this next episode either. I just can't see how. There's nothing nothing has been clued in for us that indicates that Bunk will have some great reveal in the next episode.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be kind of like the Jane Doe that never got identified.
Okay.
We're never going to find this gun.
Okay.
I think things are going to keep going well with Amsterdam, but I think that the higher ups are going to find out about it and not be happy, like Burrell and Rawls.
Okay.
And Carcetti, Carcetti, well, man, I'm kind of worried about Gray.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gray's going to get involved with whatever Carcetti has going on with Burrell and make that more problematic somehow.
Okay.
All right.
That is a lot.
Okay.
That
is a lot, I know.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, I mean, good for you. So, most important is that will they find a home for the little old lady? You say yes or no?
Will they find a home? I say yes.
Okay.
Please
Cuddy,
find her home.
Omar, Marlo, Bunk,
Yeah.
Amsterdam, and Carcetti and Gray. So that is 7.
I think McNulty will sleep with D'Agostino one more time.
Okay. Okay. It's important.
She's going to use him and toss him.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, that gets us to the end. Well done, Ellie. That might be the most predictions you've ever had. So good stuff.
We'll see how I do.
Okay. Wow. Ellie, got to the end. So
yay.
Good job. All right. Well, thank you so much, as always, for a great episode. Next week, we will be back to cover season 3, episode 6, Homecoming.
Homecoming.
And as much as I don't like the man anymore, Kanye West's Homecoming song is fantastic. So give that a listen if you feel like it. If you're on Spotify, hey, switch on over right after the episode, right after this episode. So, okay. Well, that's it. All right. Well, Ellie, again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you all next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time,
You're good people.